He suffered a minor knee injury in the season opener against the Pelicans. And according to Ramona Shelburne, Embiid said he couldn't walk for 2 days afterwards. There's reportedly a sense that he should take a game or two to get fully healthy, but he's been playing through it because of Ben Simmons' absence. Embiid wants to show his leadership while his teammate gets mentally and physically ready to play. They lost to the Knicks Tuesday. Embiid had 14 points on 2 of 7 shooting with 6 rebounds in 30 minutes. So this would be a time, obviously, that they could use Ben Simmons. He's not available, and they're still working through that situation. I don't know what to make of the Sixers right now, like how we should even really be evaluating them, because we don't know if Ben Simmons is going to come back, and now he's in this space where he's dealing with his mental health and dealing with his back issues. I would not advise them to push through this type of injury, though, with Joel Embiid. If everything is going to move forward as it was planned at the beginning of the season, which is that Ben Simmons wants out and they're going to eventually look for a great trade, you don't want Embiid hurt. Now that's a complete collapse, which is what the concern was when you were trying to pick which one of these guys to move forward with in the first place, as Embiid has these injuries. So I get it from Embiid's perspective. He wants to be out there and show that this is his team, especially if Ben Simmons is not going to be there moving forward, but definitely concerning.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So I thought this was interesting, Joy. Matt Castle played in the NFL for 14 years. Now he's a broadcaster. And he came out and he said, where does Mac, because he covers a lot of Patriots, he said, where does Mac Jones rank, the rookie quarterback for New England, rank among the best quarterbacks drafted in 2018? So he said, I'm only going to count 10. And this is where he ranked them. He put Josh Allen number 1, Lamar 2, Kyler 3, Joe Burrow 4, Justin Herbert 5. I don't have a problem with it. Nothing, that doesn't bother me. I think I'd move around the next 5 a little. Mac Jones 6, Baker 7, Daniel Jones 8, Trevor Lawrence 9, Tua 10. Now, I do think Trevor Lawrence is absolutely more gifted than Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield and Mac Jones. But he doesn't have a lot of starts, so I can understand it.
I would also put Baker above Mac Jones. He's won a playoff game.
Yeah, listen, I'm not outraged by anything.
Yeah.
But I've said this before. I do think it's really important for young people that they need career momentum. I've been doing this a long time. I've had some successes. So has Joy. I'm not desperate for momentum. I've had it for about 15 years. I'm fine. But for young people who are talented, they need a kingmaker. They need somebody to put their arms around them. Tua's never had that. And I'll give you a great example. So let's go to Tua's first. We'll play blind resume game. So he's got Tua as the 10th. The worst that he ranks, right? So Tua in his 13 games, 7-6 winning record, 66% completion percentage, 2-1 touchdown interception, and a 90 passer rating. This is with no running game and a bad O-line, and Will Fuller has been a bust. So blind resume, let's look at one of these other guys through 13 starts. He's got a losing record. Tua's got a better completion percentage, a better record, actually a better TD to interception ratio, slightly worse passer rating. Who is that? Well, it's Baker. Now, my point here isn't to rip Baker. My point is Baker has always been defended and had support. Tua doesn't have any. So Baker and Tua in their first 13 starts had similarities. They entered dysfunctional organizations. Both were rebuilding. Both had terrible offensive lines and no running game. Tua, his team is bailing on him. Baker, if I suggest that the team's not built around Baker, I get pushback. This is why it's so vital for young people. You need a kingmaker. Whether it's in my business, an agent, a boss that says they're good. Because when you start in any business, you're a young lawyer, you're a young broadcaster, it doesn't matter what you are, a young landscaper. You don't have the finances, you don't have the momentum, you don't have the capital, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to have turbulence. Support matters. And it's interesting, Tua and Baker's numbers, they really entered the same thing. Dysfunctional, bad O-lines, no running game, often had to win games on their own. And Tua's numbers match right up. Tua, they're moving off. Baker still defending. And Baker's made several missteps in front of the microphone, said things that, call out the medical staff. One's got support, one doesn't. So that's why I say Tua, if he plays well, 7 of the next 10 games, he matches up very well against the other quarterbacks. He plays a lot of, guys that could be as.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Well, it was a bumpy start for the Colts, starting 0-3. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, and they head into a very important game with the Titans this weekend.
It feels like, these are the 2 best teams easily in this division. So this is the game. This is the game of the season. Boy, it's may have to call some odds makers. Where do I go on this?
Well, Carson Wentz's play has been a big factor in turning it around, and Frank Reich is looking forward to seeing Wentz continue to improve.
I'm really looking for the new the Colts version of him that can where he just keeps getting better and better. And but what we are seeing is he's playing good football. I really like the way he's pushing the ball down the field, how aggressively he's thinking, but still making good decisions, checking it down when he needs to. He's doing a great job in the run game, when we need to get to the right checks in the run game, managing the game the right way and making plays and being good situationally.
I like how in a monsoon he had an ugly first half and he never lost confidence, nor did they lose confidence in him. That was a tough game. He had a turnover that was so bad early.
Oh, my God.
But it never affected him.
And that's an important part. Not all interceptions and not all turnovers are the same.
That's right.
Not all sacks are the same.
That's right.
That was
it was an all-time bad one.
That was one of those turnovers where it was like,
what I just watched?
What? There was no one there. Just threw it right to him. Well, the Colts are home, and they are 1.5-point favorites against the Titans.
I know.
Fox Bet.
I think I like the Colts.
If the Titans beat the Colts, the Titans would be 2-0 against the Colts this season and would own a 3-game lead.
I know.
In the AFC
That's why
South.
it does feel bigger for the Colts.
Well, the Titans would also own the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Colts, Bills, and Chiefs.
Yep.
If the Colts beat the Titans, the Colts would split the season series, and they'd only be 1 game back of the Titans in the AFC South. So while for the long term it is more important for the Colts right now, the Titans would love to get this and put some huge separation between them and several other teams.
Barring an injury, it feels like, okay, it's your division. Because you have the tiebreaker. So it really feels like if the Titans win this week, I tend to like desperate teams that have talent. I think the Colts feel desperate. They're at home. I like the Colts in this spot.
This is a very, very big game this weekend. So Justin Fields is coming off the worst performance of his Bears career, albeit a short Bears career.
Yeah, not much of one yet.
Yeah. In 38-3 loss to the Bucs last week, he threw 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and lost 2 of his 3 fumbles. And leading up to his next game against the 49ers, he was asked if he'd like to do more RPOs and play action going forward. And his answer is, I'd like to score touchdowns no matter how. Things have gotten a little ugly in Chicago over the past couple weeks. It feels like, again, I say it all the time, that you should just give him the team, because it's felt like we have just had a bit of a controversy or something to discuss in Chicago since the beginning of the season, starting with Andy Dalton's QB1. The 49ers are favored by 4 against the Bears this weekend.
Moved up. So the betting public likes the Niners. I don't like either of them.
I don't know where to go in this game. The Bears do have a good defense, and the 49ers are dealing with a lot of injuries and are not looking great either. But again, I don't really know what I'm supposed to expect from the Bears this year. I think the expectations are far exceeding what the reality is. Yeah. And part of that is because Matt Nagy has been there, and there was a lot of hype and buzz for Justin Fields. And then it kind of got squished a little bit with the Andy Dalton thing, and now Justin Fields is struggling, which is not entirely surprising. He's a rookie quarterback, and they don't have a good offensive line. It just feels very choppy there. I don't know what this team is going to look like next season and who's going to be running it, or if Nagy's even going to be there. I don't know that it's necessarily Nagy's fault, but